Hi, I'm Cindy Horstman. In today's lesson, I would like to teach you two fun and interesting chords that you can use as a chord progression to improvise over. So let's stick with the key of C major. We're all familiar with C, and it works well on the harp. So the chord progression is just going to be the 1 chord and the 5 chord. So in C, of course, this 1 chord is C, E, G. And the 5 chord is G, B, D. Very simple, very basic. So when I like to add extra color tones to chords, the first thing I typically do is add a 7th. So in the G chord, G, B, D, if you stack another third on top, you've got the note that is 7 steps above the root. So we have a G7. Now, in looking at this chord, let's think about the importance of the chord tones. The G, of course, is the root. We need the G. And let's put the G in our left hand. So we don't need to play it in the right hand. Now the third of the chord is very important because this determines whether the chord is what? Major or minor. So you need the third. The 5th is not that important, so we're going to leave the 5th out. But the 7th, which is the F, is a color tone, so we want to leave it there. Can you play that with me? G, B, F. This is your G7 chord. Now, when we play an accompaniment and we improvise, it's important that you keep the chords a little bit lower on the harp so that your right hand can have more space or more notes to improvise with. So instead of having the F up here, we're going to move the F down an octave to here, and there is our G7. So it's G, F, B. Play that with me. G7, G7, G7. Okay, that's a little more interesting, but I want to add one more thing, and I think it's important for me to explain it theoretically before I play it for you so that it will make more sense. So when you play chords, you can just stack thirds, keep stacking thirds on top of the chords to create color tones. So in the G chord, 1, 3, 5, 7. Let's stack another third on top. The A is a 9th. Stack another third, you get the 11th, and then you stack another third, which is the 13th. And that's as far as you can go, because if you stack another third, what do you get? G again. So we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. And the note that I'm going to choose is the 13, or the E, which in fact is 13 steps above the root. Okay? So if we go back to our pattern where we had G, F, and B, play that with me, G, F, B. Now we're going to add the 13, which is the E, and look where the 13 is, right here. So we have in the right hand, F, B, E. So can you play that for me? And say G13, ready? G13, 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 G13. Good job. Okay. That's our first chord. That's the 5 chord. Now let's talk about what we can do to the 1 chord to make it more interesting. Well, we can think about stacking the thirds again and come up with another note. So let's play through the stacked thirds and the options we have for the C chord. So play with me. C, E, G, B. Then you stack another third, which is D, another third, F, another third, which is A. So we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. Well, we used the 13 in the G chord, so let's use the 13 in the C chord as well, which is in fact A. So if we come down and lower our chord on the harp, we can play the root of the chord with the left hand. We can play the third of the chord, which is important. We can leave out the fifth, it's not important. And let's add the 13, which is A, here. So let's play that together. We have low C, we have an E, and an A. Can you play that over and over? That's it. Okay. And this is called C major 13. So let's play that. C major 13, C major 13, C major 13, C major 13. Good. Well, that sounds okay. But let's add one more note to the right hand. I'm sorry, to the color tones to the C. So which one shall we choose? C, E, G, B, D. I'd like to add the D to the C chord, which is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay, so let's go back to what we had. We have the C, E, and A. Now let's add a D on top here. So can we play that chord over and over? C, E, A, D. Ready? And say C major 13, C major 13, C major 13, C major 13. Okay, you may ask me, well, that's great, but we're also playing the ninth in there, so wouldn't you say C major 13, 9? Well, whenever you write a chord or talk about or label a chord, it's important to know that the largest interval, which is the 13, labels the chord, and then it implies that, particularly in jazz, it implies that you can play the 9th or the 7th or the 11th, which are the smaller intervals. And I just wanted to mention that because you may have had that question. So now let's look at these two chords. Let's go back to our G chord, which is G, F, B, and E, right? This is the G13. And when we go to the C chord, look at your right hand. It goes from here and it moves down one string. Every finger moves down a string. So let's play that. G13 to C major 13. Excellent. So I'm going to turn on the metronome for a little exercise. And this is 60 to the quarter note, but you're hearing the subdivisions or the eighth notes. And what I would suggest you practicing to get ready for improv is to play it with your left hand. So we're going to play this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Play along with me. G13, C major 13, G, C. Okay, this is fun. isn't it? So practice those two chords, and then in the next lesson, we'll talk about options to improvise over. We'll start simple, and then we can get more and more complex. So have fun, and I'll see you in the next lesson.